Hello everyone, today I'll be reviewing Only Angels Have Wings. So Only Angels Have Wings came out in 1939 and was directed by Howard Hawks, and this film stars Cary and Jean Arthur. So I'd probably best describe this film as an adventure drama with a little bit of romance in it as well. So the film kicks off with Jean Arthur's character, Bonnie Lee, and she is a piano playing entertainer, and she lands in this South American port town called Barranca. And once she's there, she meets these two guys, and these two guys are part of Barranca Airways, which is this airline which delivers mail to different areas. These two guys, they obviously take quite a liking to Jean Arthur's character Bonnie Lee, so they take her out and they all go for a drink. All of a sudden we're then introduced to Cary Grant's character, who is the head of this airline, and he wants one of the guys to go out and deliver some mail. Now in this area that we're in, this port town of Barranca, the weather conditions are terrible. It's very windy, it's very stormy, and it's very dark. It's in very dangerous conditions, so it can be quite a dangerous job. So there's one guy who is then sent out to deliver the mail. On his landing, he crashes and dies. Although he's dead and it's very sad, everybody just seems to carry on as though nothing has ever happened. And Jean Arthur's character Bonnie, she's very surprised and shocked that everybody is just carrying on as normal and that nobody seems to care that this guy has died. It turns out that this sort of thing happens quite a lot. So throughout this film, we do get a bit of a romance develop between Cary Grant and Jean Arthur. You can really tell that Jean Arthur's really attracted to Cary Grant, and even though she's just stopping in this place for a short town, she keeps on sticking around even though she doesn't need to. And then throughout this film we also get lots of other interesting characters as well. We get the actor Thomas Mitchell. He plays a character known as Kid, who is also a pilot, but he's been a pilot for quite a long time, and his eyesight is starting to go, so he's really much past his prime in this film. And then we also get Richard Barthelmess, the actor. He plays a character called McPherson, and he basically comes into the story, and it later turns out there's a bit of a backstory there, because he apparently once jumped out of a plane, leaving the mechanic behind, and then the mechanic then crashed and died, and that mechanic was actually the brother of Kid, who is the character I mentioned earlier, played by Thomas Mitchell. So things get really interesting there. There's a bit of a conflict, and we do also get a small but memorable appearance from Rita Hayworth in this film. She plays McPherson's girlfriend. So overall, watching this film, I have to say I was pretty impressed by it, and I think what I was impressed most about the film was actually the special effects and the aerial photography. Now this film didn't win any Oscars, but it was nominated for 2, which are Best Black and White Cinematography and Best Special Effects. And this was actually the first year that the special effects category was at the Oscars. So it makes sense that this film was nominated because, you know, bearing in mind this film came out in 1939, the special effects and the aerial photography in particular, they do look amazing. We get some excellent shots of the planes flying, and just the sound of the planes as well is really excellent. You really get the sense of being up in the air with the plane in these scenes. We do get a few scenes where the rear projection is used, which obviously doesn't quite look as good, but the film did also make good use of matte paintings. Especially there's a few scenes where this plane is up on this cliff. I was looking at some of the special features of the Blu-ray behind me, and it turns out they used some matte painting effects to make it look like it was higher up, and it actually worked really well. I didn't even realise on watching it that those effects were used, but really you do get a real sense of danger in this film, particularly with the weather and the conditions. And I do also think it really helps this film was in black and white. It makes it feel a lot more claustrophobic and dark, and it does appear very darkly lit. So this area that they're in, it does feel very isolated, and you know, you get the sense that, you know, things can be dangerous and very perilous up here in this area in the middle of nowhere, where people have to fly around to get to other places past all these treacherous conditions that are beyond it. So in terms of the acting, I think Cary Grant is excellent as usual. We really get the sense that he is in charge, and he knows what he's doing. Even when things do start to go wrong, he really has to sort of look after everything which is happening in this film. Jean Arthur is also excellent. I'd seen her previously in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, and she tends to play quite a strong sort of character, and I think in this film she certainly seems that way, although I did find particularly towards the end, I think her acting maybe is a little bit over the top in certain scenes, but I do get the sense that that is what a character is supposed to be, as she is obviously very much in love with Cary Grant's character, and Cary Grant sort of almost doesn't seem to know why at first, but the two sort of have this romance that seems to be a little bit on and off throughout the film, which is the way their characters are supposed to be, because Cary Grant's character, with his job, he often has to go off and fly every now and then at very short notice, and because these treacherous weather conditions keep interrupting everything that is going on. I also think that Thomas Mitchell gives a great performance, and he's one of those character actors who has appeared in lots of films, but he's never really been a major star. And in fact, in the year this film came out in 1939, Thomas Mitchell was in quite a lot of other films. He was also in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which also starred Jean Arthur. He was in Stagecoach. He was in Gone with the Wind, where he played Scarlett's father, Gerald, and he was also in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. So Thomas Mitchell as an actor has been in lots of great films, so that's very interesting. And Rita Hayworth, a small but very memorable appearance, I have to say. This is actually one of her first big roles. She later went on to become a much bigger star, obviously. And to be honest, I did find Rita Hayworth's acting quite a bit over the top in a few scenes. There's particularly a few scenes we get with her and Cary Grant, but again, it's a very small role, so I can't complain too much about that. So overall, really watching this film, I have to say it's very entertaining. I really like the scenes where the plane is up in the air. We get a real sense of danger, and yeah, it's a very, very easy film to watch, and the pacing is also excellent all the way through. It's a very consistent feeling film, but at the same time you get the sense of danger versus safety throughout this film. If there are any complaints, I think perhaps the ending is a little bit cheesy, but it ends in quite a nice way. It's a satisfying ending, although it does seem a little bit cheesy with the final line of the film, Jean Arthur's delivery. It's a nice ending to the film, but at the same time a little bit corny perhaps, but nevertheless very nice. So I would really recommend this film if you like these old sort of films from this era, really. And as it's directed by Howard Hawks, it does have lots of fast talking, snappy dialogue. So if you've seen films like Bringing Up Baby or The Big Sleep, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And this film is very much similar in tone, and sometimes the characters are talking so quickly it can be quite difficult to keep up with what they're saying, but that's sort of the point, and it goes well with the theme of this film, with the element of danger and isolation. So overall, I'm going to give Only Angels Have Wings a rating of 8 out of 10. So definitely check this one out if it sounds like your sort of thing. So there we go. So that is my review of Only Angels Have Wings. So what do you guys think? Have you seen Only Angels Have Wings? Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Please let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.